This is Aha, a human among humans. We try to do that. Yes, that's my goal at least.
Definitely.
Yes, I'm getting better. I'm 82.
That's awesome.
Yes. And this is John Oxenford, who has great middle names. John Joshua Williams.
Yeah, William without the S.
John Joshua William. They all have meaning.
Yeah.
John in the Hebrew is Yohanan,
Johanna.
which means you embody the grace of the universe.
Oh, wow, I like that.
Joshua means Jesus was named Joshua. He will save us.
Wow, okay.
And I'll stop there. I'm not so sure. William, I think, means protector.
Uh-huh. It was my grandfather's name, so that makes sense to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've got, I mean, you could just feel that energy here. So we're going to start. We don't know if we can do this.
I'm going to try this out with the
With a
card.
card trick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it'll work on. See, here's the cards.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
All right.
So John
Yeah.
John Joshua Williams Oxenford. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, now don't show me, but show the audience
Uh-huh.
the bottom card.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can see it too.
Okay.
And my eyes are closed.
Okay.
And then put it in.
Yes. That's in.
Okay, and you can shuffle it any way you like.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
See if I can find out the cards. This is a psychic card trick.
Sounds good.
Okay. Tell me your best memory of August so far.
Of August?
Yes.
Probably today. Just went to Wingershik Beach with my mom. My mom rules, and we just chilled there, walked around the place, got in the water. It was really cold.
Wow.
And I just sort of, just spending my time, I spent a lot of time in my teens, in my early 20s, being like, kind of rebelling against my mom, and now, since probably about 6 or 7 years ago, I've started to connect with her again, and she's like a very close friend now. And,
Wow. Well, how did this happen?
just connecting with her again.
Yes.
It was probably the medication. I spent a good 5 years just dealing with different types of medication, saying, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. And I finally got one medication that worked, and then, it wasn't just like perfect finally, but, that started this kind of understanding that my mom was there for me, and, we always have fun and hang out. We saw a movie every Sunday, and it's like, oh, well, finally reconnecting with her before I started this kind of rebellious phase,
Oh, well, I hear a lot of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, therefore, your card is an ace. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, now I have to guess the suit.
Oh, I bet you know it, man.
I can imagine. So, what other question would you like to answer?
On the page, or
No, for yourself. What
Myself.
would, if you, because we were talking about interviewing. What would be a good interview question of yours?
Good interview question. Am I making the best decisions in my life to enjoy helping other people in the world?
Wow. So it's not a club. That's a hitting.
No.
It's not a spade.
Actually, club for me is not very violent. It represents spirit.
Oh my! But at
But
least
spade can be very.
yes.
You have to be very in control of your spades.
So
I see spades as a.
So I think the card is a heart or a diamond.
Okay.
I think you did not talk about love,
Mm.
making the best decisions for yourself, for the world.
Mhm.
I would guess the card was an ace of diamonds.
That's exactly correct.
Wow!
And that was the card we were talking about for the past 2 shows.
Oh my!
And as soon as I lifted that up, I thought, oh my God, Michael has some serious talent, some serious spiritual ability.
Of
right
course.
now. It's now I know you on like a different level.
Yes, finally, after I thought I could do it with talking, I had to do it with a card trick.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think we should read a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is a woman's translation.
Okay.
So
Of Genesis.
Of Genesis,
Okay.
and you can read. This is
Sure.
chapter 12, just the first 3.
Okay. This is pronounced Yahweh, isn't it?
You could, yes.
Okay. Yahweh said to Abram. So you say Abram or Abraham?
His name eventually will be changed to Abraham.
I remember that.
But
Okay.
here is Abram, which means, of all things, the Father is exalted.
What does that mean?
Praise to the Father, very patriarchal.
Oh, exalted. Okay.
And he's going to get his name changed to Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
which means Father of multitudes.
Okay.
So he's not exalting someone else. He's finally able to exalt himself, and, as you were saying, and the fruits that come from him that are so. I mean, there's 2 billion Christians, 1.5 billion Muslims, 3,500 years of Jews. My Lord. Okay, but here he's just Abram. He's just a guy.
Okay. So Yahweh said to Abram. You hear that static? You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm just kind of grooving on what you're reading.
I'm just hearing static. Maybe it's just me.
Oh.
Okay. Yahweh said to Abram, go from your land, from your kin, and from your father's house, to the land that I will let you see. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. Be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. He who dooms you, I will curse. Through you shall be blessed all the clans of the ground.
Wow! What on earth would you make of that if you hear it? If you heard this?
I feel very special. I feel like I was the Ace of Hearts.
Oh wow!
I feel like, makes you think, like I had a real purpose to help the world.
I did this when I first encountered this.
Wow.
The word Messiah means anointed.
Anointed.
And it's not just one person. All the kings were anointed with oil when they became king.
Yeah.
Or if you get baptized, when I did in the Catholic Church, I got anointed with oil. And then I went for a walk by myself because it was a little too much for me to handle. I could feel the sun shining on the oil and the cross that the priest, my friend, made. And I felt it deep, deep inside in my backbone. And when I felt lost, when I was training for the Peace Corps and living in chicken coops, I'd go to the basements of churches and I would feel that light backbone in me. So I felt like Abram, oh my, I'm messianic too. I can help people the way Abraham and Joshua did.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that while I was trying to say what I felt, the 3 passages. Can you explain to me a little bit of that light backbone? You said the backbone.
Well, I felt the priest, which you do when you're baptized, at least when I was 25. So he put oil on my head.
Yeah.
There was a few friends there and my guru, Owen Carroll, who eventually became a priest, Father Owen. And so after the baptism, a friend brought carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
And I had a little, and then I needed to be alone.
Okay.
And I went for a walk in Chicago at the university. There's what's called the Midway. It must be a mile long with trees in the middle. I used to run around it.
Oh, cool.
But this time I walked around and I could feel the sun shining on the oil. Why not? Nothing's miraculous about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt the cross of light on my head. And when I went to, which is very soon, maybe a year after, to train for the Peace Corps in chicken coops in Fresno, California.
Oh my God.
And I was very lonely. I didn't know anyone. And I would, as I often do, go to a church and sit alone in the basement in the dark. And I would feel often that cross I felt in my head was in my backbone, in my spine.
Interesting.
And therefore, I wouldn't be too terrified about being with other people.
Oh, interesting. Because you felt a holy power was with you, the Lord. What would you call it?
I mean, you're more poetic than me. I just felt this cross of light itself, like firelight almost, would mean that I wouldn't lose myself entirely. I'm not sure this makes sense, but this is what I felt. Oh, I have a cross of light, so I don't have to be afraid of being totally dissolved in other people.
Oh, okay.
So that was like Abram in a way. I really felt bad about myself, but I felt I could share. Well, it's probably more down to earth. I could be with people. I'm sure you'd understand. I could be with people because I had a cross of light inside.
Yeah, definitely. I just sort of think about my own similar experience. I had a point where I was isolating myself from everybody and pushing everybody away.
Yes.
Didn't trust people and just had my own superstitions that once I started to entertain the fact might not be real or might not be the truth for people who I used to call friends, I started to feel this amazing emotion of enjoying someone else's company.
Wow.
And I wasn't...
We have to do that slowly.
Sure, yeah.
Once you started to feel that your superstitions were not the truth,
yeah.
what would be an example?
I think a sort of more theatrical one would be, I felt like I was this lone individual in the middle of some sort of weird experiment or scientific, maybe theatrical, maybe some sort of program.
Like the Matrix, something like that?
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Matrix. And so I thought everybody else had some sort of ulterior motive. Everyone else was sort of writing down everything I said and saying, oh, this person, okay, so they've reached this point in the program, so they must be going this way. And
be more specific. They were writing down what you said.
Yeah.
When you were talking to them, or
I felt like I was being analyzed on everything I did, and so I could never make an action without being self-conscious about how that might represent me to someone else.
Oh, I was that way too?
Oh, okay.
Wow, I would hear. Alas, when I was in Israel, I had a very good friend who just passed.
I'm sorry.
Yaron is Rocky. Oh, these people that are gifts. But I would have to hear what I was going to say before I talked to him. Very quickly. I might be able to do it now. Yeah. Well, I heard the word, what am I going to say to John? So I would hear it and then I would say it. 1, 2, but I would be on, I guess, pins and needles to make sure I wouldn't say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Eventually he thought I was very hurting, so I didn't help. I think I told him that and he thought, wow, is that true? I was honest at least. So you're thinking everyone is diagnosing you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, John, my son, let's see when this trouble began. Okay, so everyone's diagnosed you, and then somehow you had a thought, what?
I thought...
You got over that.
Oh, yeah, it was. I think it was mainly medications.
Oh.
Also the support of my mother, and moments that I had with my friends, accepting the fact that maybe my assumptions of this program thing wasn't true, and then being able to kind of put that away from a
The
second.
program was everyone was paid or somehow out to diagnose you?
Yeah, like I was some sort of experiment.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah, just kind of like a scientific experiment.
Oh.
But once I gave myself the option to not believe in it, and try,
How did you do that?
well, as I said,
the medication
medication really helped me do that.
Because you told the therapist this is what was going on?
Yeah, I've talked to therapists.
And you were
that
honest
helps.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I talked about it with a few therapists, and it did help. I think the medication was the base of it, but also there was that part inside of me that didn't leave, that sort of believed in reality, appreciated the company of my friends, appreciated the dedication of my mother, and I didn't completely push that away. I just I had another thought that was kind of stopping me from enjoying life anymore.
I had something similar. It's very interesting, these similarities.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 11, I don't think I told you this, stop me if I didn't. I'm visiting my Aunt Joyce. My father had a brother and he married Joyce.
Okay.
So she's my Aunt Joyce, and I go for a walk alone again as usual.
Mm-hmm.
The whole family's gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And everything seems way louder than I've ever heard it. Cars, wind, just it was almost like entering another reality where everything was loud. But that was the only alternative of it. Everything else was ordinary. And I remember walking up the stairs. They lived on the second floor, and for some reason about to knock on the door, and thinking, everybody's going to pretend to be who they're not. Aunt Joyce is going to pretend to be a nice aunt, my mother's going to pretend to be a nice mother, and so on. So that might have been somewhat similar, but I forgot about that was just a one-time occurrence.
Okay, yeah.
Although I remember visiting my Aunt Joyce when I was grown up at the University of Chicago, and I realized I didn't realize it was for myself. Everybody is pretending to be who they are. They have a certain persona, that's the word. Hi, John, good to see you, which I had big time. I saw it, and I didn't tell her. But that's why I had that waking dream. And it took until, oh my. I mean, I knew then, I had told my roommate, I've been a con man my whole life. Pretending to be who I'm not, to get along, supposedly. But there was so many layers of pretending. It took till I was 78 to really stop. I used to try to be a man. Hi, John. What can I do to help you?
I was just thinking, what was I thinking? Yeah, I sort of, I think that's sort of in a similar way. I felt like everybody was sort of pretending in some sort of way, and so I tried to get so far away from that kind of persona, trying to put on this front that I was someone else so I could get whatever I wanted out of a social interaction or something else. I pushed so far away from it that I became depressed and alone. So I think there's some sort of good element to that in a way, as long as it's not at base superficial. There has to be.
Did you have a little persona?
Yeah.
Hi, John. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great, Michael. I'm doing absolutely
yes,
perfect.
but if I confused that with me, and with terrified at what came underneath it. I was so lonely under that because I was always I was trying to do good for people too. I would help them move for free.
Oh, wow.
I did a lot of ways to connect, but it took till telling my woman friend, deciding finally to tell her everything. Finally, with another human being, probably seeing a therapist for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
My wonderful therapist, Debbie Block.
Oh,
That helped too. But it's a difference telling someone who's a friend, a therapist, it's more one-sided.
mm-hmm.
She doesn't tell me zilch about what's going on with her.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that finally, and that happened, 79, 78.
Wow, that was really
80.
recent.
Yes, to finally, it's very comforting and not only to be real with them, which is just simple, not to say what I don't feel moved to say. It's almost like I told you with my friend Yaron, where I would hear words first.
Yeah.
Now I just say them. I mean, I have rules.
Yeah.
I have nonviolent communication rules. Don't blame people, and that's a big one. A hard one is try to get in touch with my feelings. Not so easy.
What was the first one again?
And don't judge people.
Don't judge.
At least to them. I mean, you can do it to yourself or to your friend. Let me tell you about it, but to them, just if I'm complaining about something, just describe what's happening without judgment.
Yeah, definitely. Not
Not so easy, but I finally learned that. And funny, one of the rules is to open your heart, feel love for yourself, and then send it to you, to your heart. I do that with a friend. We hold your hand, just like we can feel each other's hand from afar. I don't know if you can, and it feels very loving to us. I do this with my friend Michael Koran, who's the next door neighbor.
Oh, cool.
And there's all this love coming through people's hearts. From the earth, which is supporting us, the sun, which is giving us light. Wow, is that a surprise from the reality I was hiding from? That it's really awesome.
Yeah.
As my friend Barbara Michael said, every moment's a gift, even if it sucks.
Wow. Being able to maybe learn from the negative moments and be more connected to the positive moments. I don't know.
Yes. Well, so we answered that. The first question was, so maybe Abraham, when we read this, because I don't know if we'll go into it, but he was one lonely dude.
Yeah.
Oh, his brother was killed right in front of his father. Maybe his father did it.
Oh my God.
He gets married to his half-sister, and she's barren maybe because he can't even make love to his half-sister. So he was not in good shape. And that's often when people are hurting bad, they need to, as you do with cards, as I did with my inner voice. Where is that Ace of Diamonds? What happened to it?
That was so huge. We've been talking. That's like the most important card for me, and we've been talking about it on the show.
Wow.
And you shuffle that deck, and I say stop, and I pull up, and there it is, the one card that means the most to me. And you guessed it. It's the way I was talking. It was fascinating.
So, when people are hurting, there's a story that through the cracks, light comes through. It's worth telling. I don't think you know it yet. I don't know if I could feel it all, but this guy loses a leg, which is he's 22.
Oh my God.
Well, I complained at 82, I'm losing vision in my eyes,
That's still
losing my energy, things get taken away. First no driving, then no bike riding, then walking's hard. It's just quite a trip. Pretty soon nothing will be there.
So your friends.
And so maybe I'll say goodbye. I'll look after you if I'm in another realm. So this is the story. So it's a book that you're going to get. I sent it to you. It'll be in the mail this week.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
It's called Light Comes Through the Cracks.
Okay.
So he loses the leg, which is, I can't even begin. I don't do that very well, what is happening to me now. And is in this rehab place, which I just was in for almost a month myself after my surgery this last month.
Wow. The same place?
Not this kind, no. This is a great place. If you ever have to go to a rehab, Spalding Rehab in Charlestown. It was like the best vacation of my life. Oh my God, I was just inundated with loving people.
Wow.
Wake me at 7. Here's your medicine. Like 7:30. Here's your breakfast. Yeah, let me try your blood. It's just let me do your blood pressure. Wave after wave. Let me help you walk. Let me help you take a shower. Oh my God.
I was in Spalding in Boston at one point.
Oh, how was that?
It was nice.
Oh, this was. I could see the Atlantic Ocean from my window. There was like this studio, all glass on one wall, looking out on the ocean.
Wow.
Thank you, Spalding Rehab.
Yeah.
So I should move a little closer. Let's see if I yes.
I'll give you some space here.
What was I saying? I forgot already what I'm saying. Oh yes, light coming through the cracks.
Yeah.
So this guy is at a rehab. It's a very good one also.
Good.
But he's pretty down for 2 years.
I can imagine.
And then he decides, the only way to get out of this is I got to go and meet other people here and see if I can cheer them up.
Oh wow.
That's why I help people move too.
Yeah.
When I was depressed, at least if I'm helping people, I don't have to be. I can still be depressed because I'm carrying their couches and their chairs, and it's physical, and I'm happy. I'm actually happy to do it.
Okay.
So he goes into one room, and he sees a woman he had known before, and she had told him that she just had a mastectomy. Lost, I think, at least one breast, maybe both.
Oh no.
And he's distressed, and she's depressed. And he takes off his artificial leg and she has playing some music on the radio, and he starts dancing with one leg to the music.
Oh wow.
It's not so easy. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
But I guess if you have good legs, you can do it. And she starts to sing. Da ba ba yamo. And he says, "Why are you singing?" She says, "If you can dance, I can sing." So he was successful in cheering her up. Later that week, he goes to see his therapist. Her last name, I think, is Remen, Naomi Remen, who writes the story. And she says, "Well, I have a question for you now to see how you feel about your body, because we keep asking that question again and again. And I'm going to take out a picture you drew of your body 2 years ago when you came here with your lost leg. And it was a vase, because Naomi had asked her, Remen, to draw how you feel about your body. And it had a crack right through the vase. And she says, "I want to know what you feel about this now." And he asked her, "Do you have any crayons?" She said, "Of course." he took out a yellow crayon and put it right over the black line that was the crack in the vase.
Huh.
And she asked him, well, why are you doing that? And he says, because through the cracks, the light comes through. Just some ways connect to what we were talking about. The persona most all of us need to have. If we can get rid of it, or if it starts to crack because it doesn't work. Like the light I was talking about when I was baptized. I mean, we're made out of the Big Bang. It was huge fire bomb, fire light.
So molecules as planets and...
Yes, there's the sun too, just one of the billions of stars in one of the billion stars in our galaxy, let alone the...
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that there's 1,800 suns born every second?
That's a pretty big universe.
Wow. And we know it.
Yeah.
Our little minds know it. And we can still think, what are we going to eat for dinner?
You know, cook myself up a sun, and I'll cook myself some stars and some moons. And...
So I thought of that, and maybe that's what happened to Abram here. You know, forced to be married to his half-sister. His dad might have killed his brother. And so then he hears this. Maybe I think we could all feel this. We all feel, just like you said, well, I want to feel what I can do for other people. And I think that's wonderful, and that's available to all of us.
For sure, yeah.
And so not only Abram, but all of us can be a blessing and spread blessings. I'm not sure I always feel like I'm light. I wouldn't mind. I always tried it. Well, trying to do good might have gotten in the way.
In the way of what?
Of doing good. I think, I'm not sure.
Maybe, but not everybody's perfect. You know, you were trying.
Yes, how can I put it?
It mattered to you.
I don't think I really took in the other people I was helping.
Okay.
They were like supporting cast, let me do good for you because I'll feel good about myself.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was nice, but it's real different to feel like I'm part of a family with other people or friends or whatever, and I care for them, and out of that I might like to be helpful to them.
Awesome.
Which is a big difference from, okay, I'm a do-gooder.
Yeah. I think that's a huge, it's one huge next step there. It's a huge epiphany, I think, of just, realize, first is you want to do good. And yes, and maybe for yourself, but you want to do good. And then you come to a point where you realize, oh, I can do this good, and I can connect with somebody else and help somebody else do good for another person. I mean, that must be a huge wave of emotion there.
Yes, to really take them in as more than supporting guests, which they would do. Just like my visit of Ann Joyce. They're pretending to be who they are, and I'm, for reasons unknown, got in touch with reality seemed to be way different and way louder. Okay. Question number one.
Okay.
Do we ever feel called?
Called, as in called to do something?
Yes, that's something. Some people feel called to. They had one famous doctor interview medical students to see if they could, people who wanted to be medical students. And some people said they want to help the world. He didn't think so much of them. If they said they're really fascinated the way the kidney works and want to investigate how to heal it when it's hurting and how to help it become stronger. And he thought they would be much better medical students than the ones with the big ideas.
Say that again?
He thought that if a person had a grand ideal, I want to help the world and be a doctor,
They'd be better at...
they would be less good than the ones who said, I'm really fascinated about the kidney.
Oh, okay, got it.
They were much more grounded in this ideal dream.
Yeah, okay, got it. It's sort of like, sort of in my interpretation of that, a hearts for a clubs is not a diamonds, whereas diamonds would be technically learning how to do the procedure so it can be done, and hearts and clubs would be an emotion, a motivation, feeling, calling from a spirit, but not having the technical know-how to be able to get that done.
Now, did you ever, well, you're using the word though, have you ever felt called by a spirit or whatever?
Called
something?
by a spirit.
Or called by anything, really?
Called by anything. I mean, I felt want to do good for things. I felt motivation to go after dreams of my own.
Such, what would be an example?
Be a famous actor.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah, I wanted to be in Hollywood. I wanted to be the best actor in the world.
And are you doing that?
No.
No! Oh, I'm going to cry.
I've actually found things that are better for me.
Such as?
Where I'm working now, we present to people. You know, I struggled through mental illness, as I told you before, and I'm recovering now, and I get to tell people who might be starting their crisis of mental illness how to get help for that.
So it's going to be better than acting.
Yeah.
You're on stage.
It feels, I get so much, I feel like I'm doing good for other people instead of me just wanting to be on stage.
Yes, wow,
best,
that's huge. So you felt that's a great way to be called.
Yeah, I'm consistently getting these healthy, healing emotions rather than saying, oh yeah, I really nailed that monologue today. I'm the best, Now it's just like, oh my God, I'm being honest.
That's very beautiful.
And I got skills from all that acting, trying to be the best. I got skills to present.
Yes.
So that definitely helps.
That's beautiful, very beautiful.
But I'm doing something that's much healthier.
Oh my! I've asked myself at some other time how that's true for me.
Mm.
Okay. Any other questions on this list that you would like to?
Yeah.
This is all from the call to Abraham.
Mm. I like these all. I remember reading them before. I like them all. I just go down the line. Do you want to answer? Did you ever feel called, or would you like me to go to a different question?
I think my whole struggle, when I was so scared, I would hear an inner voice that would tell me what to say or do. What to eat, where to go. I would be so lost. Well, I don't have any idea what to do. Okay, inner voice, tell me. Yeah. And I would do it.
Right.
Go swimming, play basketball, take a nap, call a friend. But I would not be able to say I'd like to do it. Mm-hmm. I had to say, okay, God, I will do it until.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that's a good example.
I was wondering, did you get to a point where you sort of got past the feeling of I'm being told by God and that I will never
recently
myself? Really?
Recently, yeah.
Wow.
I have a good therapist,
That's
and
good.
she helped me say, see if that commanding voice would like another job. And he wanted to be a facilitator. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can have all your voices, and if you need to help them get together and make a decision, I'll help you. Occasionally, when I'm lost, I still say, okay, I don't know what to do, and I'll need to hear Although I way much like checking with my body now and seeing what I feel like doing. That's way so much more healthy.
Cool.
Okay, any others?
Yeah, do we ever feel blessed? So, rather than calling to do something for others, feeling like something was given to ourself that was a true gift.
Yeah, Abraham said you will be blessed. Does it say you will be or you are? What's it say? I will bless you. Be a blessing. So he's not yet. Oh my. All these promises. Okay, now what's good to know. So did we ever feel, that's too hard a question. Do we feel promised to be blessed? Did we ever feel blessed?
Yeah, I do.
Let me give you one example.
My mother.
And what, just that she is your mother?
She's, and who she is. You know, she's always been there for me, even when I was at my worst, and just didn't, want to talk to her, or was just having arguments with her. And she's, okay, I can't deal with this, but I'll be with you, and she's kept me, she's helped me stay stable throughout.
That's a beautiful thing. I can't deal with this, but I'll be with you.
Yeah, that's the way
That's very nice.
I'd say it,
I think this isn't a great answer, but I often have wars with myself.
Okay.
When I get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like my dear beloved father, who was a fireman, I would feel his axe trying to chop my head off, right at the neck. And I have to stay with this. Part of my belief is if you have difficult feelings, stay with them. I used to run from them. And it sometimes would take 3 hours, from 7 to 10 in the morning.
Wow.
And I'd hear a word, annihilation. And I feel, I could annihilate my ego and connect more easily with other people, not just thinking of me. And then I feel blessed, as if this violent energy was like energy for, I'll put it another way. There was so many buds in me that were crushed because of a difficult childhood. So it was just, I couldn't really grow in an ordinary way. And after I heard the word annihilation, it helped me get rid of the shells that I was protecting myself with, annihilate them. And then the buds that were crushed inside me, maybe I had like pebbles on them or rocks on them. But if I took away the plastic shield around me, they would be exposed to the air and could begin to grow. And I would feel, at least while lying in bed, oh my, does this feel good. It's hard to keep once I put my feet on the ground.
Well, I know at first you were answering that question, you felt like it wasn't very good, but I thought that was profound.
Wow! We're hiring this man. We're bringing him back more.
I like that answer. Just you had this, you had to hide all these parts of yourself, where you felt like you needed to suppress all these parts of yourself from such a young age.
Yep.
But recently you've been able to let them grow.
Yes.
And annihilate the stuff that was holding them down.
Yes, especially the invisible shields or shells. In one mystical tradition, they say there's 300, I'm making this number up, but 365 shells around our true nature. And a friend of mine who just died, lovely Wendy Aaron, said, only 365? Okay, what do we have next? Did you ever see, yes, you answered that. Yes, what's next?
Yeah, did we ever feel we can be a blessing.
Because he's told, be a blessing.
Yeah, be a blessing to someone else,
Jeez.
something else.
Hard questions.
Yeah.
Did you or I
Often.
ever feel we could be a blessing?
Often I feel like I could, but I don't. I'm not as much of a blessing as I could be or should be.
Oh, but what? Give me. I'll take a little part.
Huh?
When did you feel you could be a little part of a blessing?
Oh.
A sliver of a blessing.
I mean, it's just you know, in school when you learn about something that might be negative to an innocent person, I just was so shocked, and I just wanted to help that person. You know.
Could you give us? Are you allowed to give us? You could give us a specific example.
Yeah,
We
the
won't
one I
know.
was thinking of was I think I call it a good decision by the school, but I was taught in about 6th grade about racism in America, and 6th, 7th, and 8th, and we were taught about this one kid. It was one kid that was just, you know, just murdered, beat up, and murdered and stuff, and they say you can see that we have the picture of the kid's face after that happened, and you can look away, or you can see it. And I decided to see it, and I saw this face, and it's just such compassion towards that poor individual, and then all the people who've gone through tragedy of racism, you know, everywhere. And I had this huge compassion for it, but I feel like I could have let that compassion guide me a little bit better in the decisions I made in my life, you know.
Wow, that's good to know. So you might act differently.
Yeah.
Could you think of an example of how you could have acted differently?
I was just the first thing that comes to mind in 8th grade. I was into acting and everything, you know. And they did this play of based around Martin Luther King, Dr. Jr. And I was given the role to play Dr.
No.
Yeah. And it was an amazing experience for me, but I just sort of looked at all of the individuals in the school who were of different race than me, and I just thought, why would they have a white person at this point in time play Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? And I know they were trying to give me a gift because they really respected my dedication to acting, but I felt like this shouldn't have been mine. You know?
So if you did it again, you would have not done it.
I would have given it. Yeah, I would have. I would
Wow.
have given it to. I would have not accepted the role and asked them to give it to a person of African American heritage, or maybe something else, somewhere else.
I understand. Next question.
Okay. Did we ever feel we're making a better world? So as I said, I feel like I could be doing that more, but I've started to give to charity at the end of the year. It was Mom's idea. No presents. We're giving to charity.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I try to help people with my work, but I feel like I could do a little bit better. Did you ever feel like you were making a better world?
I thought I was. I've taught over 100 different classes at the Cambridge Center.
Wow.
Including defeating self-defeating behavior, or psychic skills for a psychic life. And now, I stopped teaching for about 2 years, and I've started again online.
Oh, cool.
And I was retreated into my head in order to make it through life. You could see what my dream of my dad chopping my head off so I could get out of my head and into my heart. That was what it wanted me to do.
Did you find some sort of relation to that, to Abraham in some way?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
But so I thought I was doing good for the world by all these classes, but it was very partial because it was all thought.
Okay.
And not experience, and not action. So I'm teaching a class now online, nonviolent communication or fruitful communication. And there's specific things I think people can do. Like if you're having any difficulty with someone, you can we did it a little bit here before, put one hand on your heart and then the other hand at the other person's heart. And feel the support from the chair and the floor and the ground come through there. And the air we're breathing come through.
Yeah.
So the world could, and the sun that's keeping the air moving. So a lot can join into our love. And so that would be a very new way of teaching. In the past, we would talk about this more intellectually. But thanks to you, we're giving examples.
Cool.
So I'm beginning to be a better blessing than just in my head.
Awesome. I think I am too.
What would be an example?
Just at work, just sort of trying to help students who might be going through a struggle with their mind, mental illness.
What a great job!
Yeah.
The city pays you for this, huh?
No, not this. Well, it's a non-profit.
Oh.
So yeah.
What a beautiful, you and Alex, beautiful job.
Yeah.
Alex is friend of, he's been on the show.
Close friend.
Yes.
A long time ago. And he helps people go through the wilderness.
Yes.
Yeah. Survival skills for 2 weeks in the wild.
Wow.
What a
I should
good
do
skill.
it. I should do it.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me. I should do it.
Yeah, me too. Did you ever feel called to sacrifice?
Oh, gee, that's another. Well, we have 4 minutes.
Okay.
I will save this for next time.
All right.
But Abraham was called, as I think you know, to sacrifice his son.
Oh yeah, talked about this.
So we can just be coming attractions for our next time. It won't be next week, but it'll be soon. I think we should save that, actually. Are there any
Sure.
questions under that? Probably not.
There's these 3 after that. Did you ever feel sacrificed?
Oh, those are other, yes.
Yeah.
So we have 4 minutes of unplanned activity. What should we do?
I don't know. Play another card trick. See if you can guess the card.
Okay, can we do that? This will be hard.
The Ace of Diamonds showed up. Like, this must be real,
Oh my, let's see what we can.
I can shuffle. Alright. You're the magician.
Oh,
You're Gambit from X-Men.
Mr. Steph. Okay,
Okay.
so. Wait, show the crowd. Tell me when to stop.
Okay. Stop.
Okay, show the audience, but don't show me what's.
Okay.
And you put the card anywhere you want.
Okay.
Okay, this time, can we do this? This is hard because we have an overhead camera. I think this would be hard. Let's see, we'll fan the deck out. Okay, do you want to pick this half or this half?
For the card that's this close.
No, you can you can
which
do whatever
half
you
do I
want.
want to pick?
You can pick the front half or the back half.
Oh, I'll pick this half.
Okay. We'll do it again. You want to pick the front half or the back half?
The back half.
2, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, we'll do this down. Pick, we still have 2 minutes. Pick 4 cards. Okay, let's throw them away. So we only have 3 cards left, and we have 2 minutes left. Pick one. Throw it away. Pick one. That should be your card.
Holy. And you know, it's the other card we talked. It's the second card we talked about last time.
I knew.
It's the 8 of clubs.
I knew.
That's fascinating. Those are the 2 cards we talked about.
Yeah, next.
And I swear I saw that card go down on the table.
Wow.
But it's in my hand right now.
Well, I'll tell you, next show maybe. We don't have time. Okay.
Very well.
So how does that feel, this card trick?
It's good. Is this show? Are we done yet?
We have 55 seconds.
Awesome. How does it feel?
Yes.
I think it's it feels it seems amazing to me. It definitely. I don't know if I'd say I'm kind of amazed and interested and excited that can actually happen.
I'm going to ruin it maybe next time by telling you how it's done.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Final wishes or prayers to our audience. Happy summer. May we all be blessed. Feel our calling. Anything else? Feel the light coming through our cracks.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.